There is a silent battle that General Museveni is fighting the opposition using Nobert MAO. This resulted when Nobert MAO came out to attack the entire opposition, but also attack Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, which resulted Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu to retaliate, pointing out Nobert MAO's lies. If you're looking for a stupid leader, you cannot go on Nobert MAO's door. Nobert MAO is one of the wise leaders. But I also ask myself how the capabilities of General Kaguta Museveni, who continues to use such leaders the way he wants. To some extent, even Nobert MAO knows, because he has ever come out to say that every leader who joins General Kaguta Museveni, they use them like a wheelbarrow, and I think it is his turn. When Nobert MAO was speaking, he came out to say the entire opposition is with NRM. It's only NUP that is a regime fundamentalist that has failed to talk with the government. Remember, Nobert MAO is also the architect of the iPod that is forcing people to sit down. You cannot force dialogue. Dialogue has only comes out without force. So when Nobert MAO comes out to peddle this dangerous narrative, we must come out and point out the lies and the gains. Before I proceed, let me first play with the tape of Mao when he was coming out to say that the entire opposition is working with the NRM except the NUP, and he labeled them regime fundamentalists who don't deserve power. Listen to this video very carefully because it's going to form a basis of our discussion. Here's the tape.
In Uganda, there are now two political blocks. There is one block has NRM, has DP, that group has UPC, that group has FDC, that group has DF. You can call it a group of 5. I am the one telling you. That is a big block, and it is the biggest block. You will have President Museveni, you will have Nobert MAO, you will have Mpuga seated there, you will have Nandala Mafabi, you will have Jimmy Akena, probably will have Bidandi Sali's group, it will probably have Asuman Basalirwa, you will also have MK and his group also there. Forget about the Bubadi. In the Bubadi, people talk on TV, but now me, I'm telling you that that's a group of 5. Now, the other group that does not believe in cooperation, we call them regime change fundamentalists. We call them the Agende group. That group is very poisonous. They have Busagwa. And there's a need to remove the poison from their politics. Because the poison in their politics means they cannot be trusted with power. Power is not for everyone. That's why I said the transition will not be based on elections. These things are already happening in the rooms which matter. And those rooms are not your TV studios. Those TV studios are just like loudspeakers. The loudspeaker does not speak itself. It is the microphone which matters. The elections are going to be peaceful. There will be no processions. There will be no people, there will be no gari. You will announce where your rally is, and you drive there straight. If the people are there, they will listen to you, and then they go home. Then on election day, people will vote. This is going to be the quietest election you have ever seen in the world. It is going to be so quiet. And those who don't want it to be quiet will be made quiet.
That is Nobert MAO. So, first of all, you must ask, why is Nobert MAO saying these statements? Because don't think that Nobert MAO is stupid. Nobert MAO is a wise leader. It's the reasons why I even feel pain that the leader like Nobert MAO, that caliber, is being destroyed by the dictator. Do you know how many years can be taken to build another Nobert MAO when this one is going to the west? A leader who once came out to say that any leader who joins government is used like a wheelbarrow is doing the same job he talked about. When he comes out to put all opposition leaders in the NRM that we have 2 groups, what is saying? You know what scares, what surprises me is Even when they want to put opposition members down, they label them as people who work with General Kaguta Museveni. Even those within the NRM, you can find an NRM member who comes out to say that those opposition members work with General Kaguta Museveni. Even them themselves know that General Museveni is bad or not worth it to work with. So when Norbert Mao comes out to classify opposition members as though they are working with the NRM, is coming out to preempt that there is no opposition. This is the trick he's using, because he came out and cited the parties UPC, DP, DF, although some of them by their work with General Kaguta Museveni. So if he labels them that, is preempting those who come out to call him out that you are working General Kaguta Museveni, yet you are masquerading as an opposition. And this is the hypocrisy. Norbert Mao is the Minister of Justice. He's coming out to say that he's going to run as the president when even he's retaining a government portfolio. Make it make sense, please. You cannot be a minister without even resigning, and you come out to say that you are going to run as the president, yet you are in cabinet. You cannot be a minister and you accuse others of not doing what is right to take away the dictatorship when you're in the same government. What is you from doing that? I normally pose that question. When an opposition leader comes out to say that Robert Kyagulanyi has failed the opposition, what is failing the opposition leader to implement what Kyagulanyi has failed? These are the questions that are supposed to be answered. Okay? So Norbert Mao is peddling a dangerous narrative that Kyagulanyi does not deserve, or NUP does not deserve the presidency, that they are regime fundamentalists, that they must come and talk to government. Talks in a political arena are not like what Norbert Mao is doing. When he was joining government, he came out to say that he's going to negotiate, bring reforms. I remember that interview. What has he brought? Dictators all over the world are forced to negotiate. You cannot take yourself to the dictator that you are negotiating unless you are negotiating for your own self. Dictators are brought on the table to negotiate. That scheme of what Norbert Mao is trying to use has never worked anywhere. If Kyagulanyi wakes up one day and takes himself to Museveni, do you think the negotiation can bring any fruits? But if he forced General Museveni on the table in the way of civil disobedience, etc., okay, then that can work. So don't think that Norbert Mao is making these statements as a stupid man. He's a wise person who's trying to brand every opposition leader hypocrite. And even the genuine opposition is labeling them terrorists, fundamental, regime fundamentalists who don't deserve a chance. Yet they are doing what Norbert Mao failed to do. If I was Norbert Mao indeed, and I didn't want to be a hypocrite, let Norbert Mao come out to say, I'm DP, I'm not going to run as president, I'm going to support General Kaguta Museveni for maybe the 8th term and negotiate for a cabinet position. He should desist to talk on behalf of opposition members, labeling others as failures. That is the most hypocrite act. And he's doing it in a wise way, labeling others as failures as he's entrenching the dictatorship. You cannot be in the same government and accuse others who are fighting to change that they are failed, yet you are eating in it. So that is hypocritical. Even BOBI WINE retaliated with a message on the X handle. He came out to say, Museveni's stooge Norbert Mao famously said that when Museveni appoints you to his cabinet, he drives you like a wheelbarrow. In his case, he has gone beyond being driven around like a wheelbarrow and turned himself into a despot loudest henchman. Forgetting the lessons of history, here he is making illegal criminal pronouncement. Thankfully, he also reveals the others he is working with to undermine the democratic will of the people of Uganda, thereby putting them on record. They are feeding off the pain and blood of our people, but I know that as God lives, the people of Uganda will have the last laugh. That is the message of BOBI WINE. In fact, Norbert Mao in that message, he came out to say that transition is going to be discussed by those other opposition parties. So even it's a legal pronouncement, as said by BOBI WINE. Transition is supposed to be determined by the people because in the 1996 Constitution, power belongs to the people. People can find a way on how they can be led. Putting out that statement, and it's not light. Transition is in the pipeline. They are just pausing so that they can be in the dictatorship until maybe they can get something. What pains me is Norbert Mao is speaking on behalf of the opposition, which is not supposed to be the case. Okay? And that's what I think. And he does it in a very good way because Norbert Mao is a wordsmith. He knows how to put the message home. He's not a stupid man. He's not a stupid leader. Most especially when our leaders are one of the most stupid. The most stupid. I've engaged various members of parliament. If the way they talk is the same heads they go with when they are making the budget, that's why Uganda is like this. 90% of leaders, they are daft. They cannot even lead a nursery school, a kindergarten school, yet in their position of power. A talent of asking for votes and you are voted for is not leadership. Of course, that's my opinion. Remain yours truly, Mr. Makinde, Kabir Sulaiman Mawagari, the next MP for Makinde East constituency. I will see you on another one. Peace.
Soka katwene guno mukisa ombaka abadde kuyalangidde mutagenda kudda kubanga ndowooza oba omugugu gwamuyitiriddeko naye ate yimiridde wano nga ngamba omukisa kubanga n'ekibiina tukiwewuddeko kubali kukitere wadde baga tiketi yanyeeko tiketi ya Kabir Sulaiman naye kati andekedde waazi ndi wano wentimbaza nenda bayitako supiidi ng'ekizungirizi basewo ne banyawulize maaso gammwe kubanga ensonga nzitegeera.
Yes, Kabir Sulaiman Mawagari. I am putting in my request to fly the NUP flag high in Makinde East constituency so that I can represent the great people of Makinde East. Nkomyewo omulundi ogwokubiri n'obwongo nga bwesera nga busera. Ebiwandiiko byange mbirese bibino.